Pato the Ghost Riders Show.
You're listening to Pato the Ghost Riders Show.
Hello everybody, welcome to Pato the Ghost Riders Show. This is Saturday the 24th, and it's a beautiful morning here in the valley. So I hope you're all having a good day, hope you're all doing great. So today I wanted to talk about something that I've experimented. You know how when we're younger, or not necessarily younger, but we've always come across people that tell you, you got to have a 5-year plan. You got to have a plan. You got to have a 5-year plan, a goal, 5-year. And most of us were like, yada, yada, yada. I got your 5 years right here. Now beat it. But reality is, it is good to plan. Now, let me give you a little background here without going to sound too religious, or I'm not preaching here. I mean, I'm sure somebody will come across this podcast and be like, oh, is he preaching? And I don't know, people don't want to hear it. I don't know why. I'm going to tell you one thing. My beliefs, I believe in the Lord Almighty. I believe Jesus is the way, the truth, and life. And that being said, I'm going to tell you something that in the past 5 years I've learned and experimented, and I recommend it. Tithing. And I know a lot of people will go like, are you nuts? All I'm going to say is, giving or honoring God with 10% of your income, or 10% of whatever it is you have, it's perhaps the best way to invest in the future. I'm going to tell you that 5 years ago, my family and I moved out of an apartment. We moved into this mobile home, which I originally did not want to buy. I was like, it was depressing because I wanted to live in an apartment on the top floor where nobody would make noise for me, where I didn't have to worry about yard work, because all those things that we Hispanics are supposed to be traditionally good at, I'm not. So don't talk to me about landscaping, setting tile, or I don't know. I'm just saying. But anyway, bottom line is we moved into this place, and the place grew on me, But we moved in, and as cliche as it is, we said, this is a 5-year plan. Well, we said it. And we put everything in God's hands. I guess the Lord heard us, because even when, 5 years can be a very short time or a very long time. Depends on how your life is going. But even there were times in between the journey that we lost sight of what we were doing. And we said, screw it, YOLO, let's go on vacation. So we ended up in the most expensive place on earth a couple times, or the happiest place on earth, depending on, we enjoyed Disney, so we went there a couple times. Universal Studios, we were just, it got to the point where like, whatever, But bottom line is that one thing that I learned along the way was to honor God with my 10%, and have been doing that. So when the 5-year mark, got near and started creeping up on us, I kind of felt it, but I was like, okay, you know what, Lord, it's all in your hands. That's all I said. And bottom line is that he opened up doors, and y'all heard me complain and whine about moving and how moving sucks. So he opened up doors, and we got a home, 0 down. He opened up the doors for everything to just work out. I have to admit that I was even a little sad to see the old place go. So, what I wanted to talk about is how setting goals, and obviously, if you have faith in the Lord, if you have and I'm like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and preach at you. That's not what I'm about here. I mean, I'm sure you've all heard by now. I mean, but what I'm gonna do here in this podcast is talk to you about how when you sit down and start working towards goals, I mean, the impossible becomes possible. I mean, it's funny because we give up. Sometimes we see the big giant in front of us, and we're like, oh, I'm never going to be able to get past this. I'm never going to be able to beat this. But it's funny how when you take things and divide them up, make them into small little, this 5-year plan that we had, I didn't realize it, but it became, I learned to tithe, I learned to budget. Oh my God, budgeting. I hated budgeting. Yes, along the way we came across Dave Ramsey's, which, God bless this man. I saw his videos. I couldn't really use much of the information he gave. Well, I used some of it, but I had to pretty much trust in the Lord and customize it to myself, because this man talks to people like everybody makes 50 G's or more. And that's not the case for some of us. So, we were like, we took what was workable, and we ignored the other stuff that we had no control over. But bottom line is, making a budget, I'm serious, it's depressing as heck the first time you do it. I mean, when you sit down and you write down all your income, your expenses, and you realize that you're in the hole before you even get started, crawling out of that hole is not easy. And that's something that I did. And it's funny because in debt and going through all these things, I learned to tithe. And people might be going, you're insane. You could have applied that money and gotten out of debt sooner. You know what? We've done that in the past where we assume that we're going to we'll just pay this off. And no, believe it or not, paying our tithes actually helped me get structure. And I cannot even describe the blessings that I feel me and my family and I have received because of honoring the Lord. That's just one of those things that I will get out there. So, if you're borderline thinking about it, hey, take the plunge. It's not going to be easy. I'm not promising you that, everything's going to be A-okay. Oh, no. But one thing is for sure, and it's funny because the 5-year plan, I didn't learn this till probably 3rd year into this, or 2.5 years into this. So I've only been fully doing the whole tithing and budgeting for the past 3 years. And I'm going to tell you one thing. Since I started tithing, budgeting, and organizing my life a little bit better, obviously, putting God first, I haven't had to borrow money from anybody. And I'm talking about, the silly, stupid things like going over to your parents like, hey, Ma, Pa, hey, can I borrow $20 just so that I can put gas in the car? Just to get through the week, I'll get you back on payday. Not even that. That's like 3 years of, we always have a way. God always provides. And like I said, this is not a religious show. If you just tuned in, if you just joined in and you're like, oh, another one of them evangelical, and right now a lot of the evangelicals are taking a hard hit, and it's funny because of whom they chose to back in their vote. And I ain't gonna talk about politics right now because yes, I am. I consider myself. I am a Christian. I'm a follower of Jesus. I'm very anti-religious. If you want, here's where it gets funny, huh? I'm anti-religious, but yet I'm a big follower of Jesus. I believe he died on that cross and saved me. So it's complicated. But I'm going to tell you one thing. No, unlike organized religion and many pastors who just fill their mouth saying that this new president, blah, 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 and this and that. No, I didn't like him before. And here I'm getting sidetracked. Gosh, it's impossible. You want to not talk about that orange freak. But he always pops up. Anyway, all I'm saying is, okay, because obviously, people hear that you're Christian conservative and then they assume, oh, you're one of those Trump followers. No, hell no. Not me, sir. All I want to do is, okay, just talk to you guys about what happened. So bottom line is, started tithing, started budgeting, and it was hard at first. But as time moved on, and throughout the process, like I said, 5 years can be a very short time or a very long time. Throughout the process, I mean, we started, sometimes we would lose sight of what was going on. But when it's all said and done, God opened up doors in a way that I can only say it's just miraculously. He opens up doors. He puts the right people in the right place. Everything works out when we honor him. And that's kind of like what I wanted to get out there today. And we talk about everything, everyone and their dogs, So today I just wanted to bring this up today without going too religious and offending anybody, because my God, I could sit here and talk all kinds of explicits and I get all kinds of hell yes. But I mentioned Jesus and some people are turned off. All of a sudden I'm this narrow-minded fundamentalist who doesn't see the big picture. But in all honesty, like I said, I'm perhaps the most anti-religious Christian you've ever come across, because I follow Jesus and his teachings, not what organized religion has turned Christianity into. Okay, that being said, let's move on. So, yes, 5-year plan, like I said, everything just happens to move in the right direction when you start planning better. One thing about tithing is that it helped me do my budgets better. It allowed me to think it differently. And it's incredible the way doing a budget and purposely spending money makes a big difference. So just wanted to share that with you. I mean, if you're struggling and you got goals, I mean, you know what? Set up a plan. Yes, even a 5-year plan. And start working a little bit each day. Now, the whole tithing thing, I leave that up to you. You got God blessed you with a free will. And even if you believe or don't believe in him, like I said, it's the whole tithing thing, that I leave that up to you. But one thing about, sit down, make a budget, and when you spend money, do it on purpose. Don't accidentally spend your money. Know where each dollar or peso or whatever it is. Well, obviously we're talking dollars here, but know where they go. Name each freaking dollar, man. You know what I'm saying? It took me a while to get into that type of mentality, and I still got a long ways to go.